This weekend, Italy take on France, and Nigel Owens is going to referee his 100th Test match. So what do? We get him on the breakdown. Nigel, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, looking sharp. Reality is you're reaching your ton. You're reaching the ton this weekend. What does that say about you and you as a referee?
I've been very fortunate over the years, really. You know, I've had very few injuries, probably because I don't run quick enough around the field to pull anything. And since I started back in 2003, you know, I've just a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and a little bit of luck as well along the way. So yeah, and I've been very fortunate and very lucky to be part of this wonderful game for such a long time, really. And you know, every day is a learning day when you're refereeing, and even on Saturday, I'll continue to do my best and learn from things I can do better or need to do better. So I suppose between all that, I've been very fortunate to be at this level of the game for quite a long time now.
Now, I know there's a lot of things that go on that the public don't see, Nigel. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you out on the field?
I was reffing the Young Farmers Club 7-a-side competition. I tend to do it every year. I haven't done it for a couple of years now, up the Royal Welsh Show in Wales. And it's done on one of the on the main ring show fields. And one year, but 3-4 minutes into the game, it's a 7-a-side now, the final of 7-a-side, which is 10 minutes each way. The whole cows that were in the Royal Welsh Show were going for the final display of the champions of champions that day. So they just literally walked down through our field onto the main ring for the display. We had to wait then for them to walk, and there were hundreds of them. So the time, it was 10 minutes each way, an hour and a half it took to complete a 7-a-side final competition. By the time the cows went all the way around and all came back, we were all standing there. This is unbelievable. It couldn't happen anywhere else.
Nigel, I crawled to 100, and there's nothing wrong with just getting to 100, but if that's the case for yourself, what's life after refereeing look like for you? Because I understand you've got a beef farm as well.
Part of the reason getting a beef farm was, one, I'm very passionate about farming. I was working on a farm when I left school, always wanted to have a small holding and stuff. And the main reason as well, or one of the main reasons, was to help with the transition from, you know, I've been reffing 34 years. Week in, week out, you know, sometimes when I was younger, 6, 7, 8 games a week, and not now, obviously. So it's going to leave a huge hole in my life. So I needed something to fill that hole. I wanted to prepare that I had something to take my interest and a reason to get up in the morning after the refereeing.
Is this going to be your last game? Is this it? Will that be it? Have you decided on an end point?
This season will be an end point. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. It'll be down to the powers to be at World Rugby, I guess, whether this will be my last Test match or not. You know, I hope that I'm still performing at that level. And I'd like to finish naturally this season, which would mean probably naturally finishing in the Six Nations. That's what I would hope, you know. That's what's in my thought process. But obviously, you know, that would be out of my of my sort of control in one sense.
One of the most courageous things you did was come out about your sexuality, and, you know, I, for one, was incredibly proud of you. I know that a lot of people suffer mentally before they can actually come out. I mean, what would you tell your younger self, and especially someone within our rugby fraternity?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge I think you'll come across is accepting, in my case, accepting who I was, my sexuality, or accepting there are issues that you need to deal with, whatever those issues are, which will trigger or cause mental health issues. The biggest challenge is accepting that you have those issues, or in my case, accepting my sexuality. You know, refereeing the World Cup in 2015 between New Zealand and Australia and Twickenham, which is the biggest game in world rugby, which only happens once every 4 years. The challenge and pressure of officiating that is massive. But it was nothing compared to the challenge of accepting who I truly was. And that's what I tell people, you know, you be true with yourself. Don't be afraid to talk about those issues as well. And I know it's difficult. I've been there myself. It's very difficult to open up, but it's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of great strength. And the only way you'll get through those difficult times, whatever they are, is by accepting that there are things you need to deal with in your life. And then after doing that, can you then what are you going to do about it? Whether it's speaking, it could be professional help, it could be family members, it could be a teammate in the rugby environment, or whoever it may be. But and when that worry is gone, whatever is that worry, then life is much better. But believe me, I've been in that process of that transition of going from a very, very, very dark place to enjoying life, and still being here today, thankfully, because of that.
I do have to ask you this, though. Players have pre-match routines. I'm sure referees do as well. There's a rumour floating around yours is quite unique in the fact everyone gets, the benefit of your musical flavours and tastes and heard across the stadium. Can you run us through that, please?
Yeah, there's a couple of rituals. I also, and I tell some of the young referees this as well, you get little things, like lucky charms or rituals, which, helps you prepare for the game, or you feel it helps you perform in the game. But the important thing is also as well to prepare just in case the rituals are not there, I remember reffing Northampton, they didn't have a socket in the changing rooms. The battery was flat on my iPod, so I couldn't play the music. The time I went the next time, the guy looking after the stadium came in, Nigel, we put a socket in for you. So the socket in the changing rooms for me, and it'll note that it's Nigel Owens' socket on top of it. So you prepare as well in case the things are not there. Yeah, so some of it, I get lucky boxes for my cousins every year. I'm currently on Batman. I wear them. And then, I play my music before the game as well. And I also ask my assistant referees and my TMO for a favourite song. So I'll add that to the playlist, whoever's with me on duty that day. And then I always listen then to a Welsh hymn then, more Fawr Wyt Ti then, before I go out on the field as well. And I love music. When I was in a very, very dark place in my life years ago, music really helped get me through that, listening to different types of music, songs with meanings and words to it. So music is a hugely important part of my life. So that's part of my ritual. So I blast it out in the change room before I go out. It's very different when you're going to do the boots in the change rooms of the players, man. They get different type of music in there. Well, I couldn't listen to that.
I can tell you no one changed the boots ever before the test matches. I mean, everyone wore the boots they showed you. Hey, look, congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing you out there, of course, on the weekend, maybe a few more test matches, but it's a wonderful achievement. Thank you so much for joining us on the breakdown, and we'd love to chat to you again very, very soon. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. My pleasure. All the best, boys.